Hello and welcome back to the AA NBA podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya.
And today we got a lot of NBA news. We just finished finals. We're all home for break.
That's why we haven't uploaded in a month.
Yes. So we got a lot of NBA news to talk about. What do you want to start with?
So I usually can start with the most recent stuff. There's been a bit of a COVID outbreak in the NBA. I think it's close to like 15% maybe of the league has COVID. Maybe even a little bit more than that now because there's still new cases coming out like every day. But it's not looking great. Teams like the Cavs, they don't even have enough players right now to play a game. I just saw on my phone they had to do a what's it called?
Hardship exemption to sign Luke Cornett.
Yeah, they had. So some teams like the Nets are another team that's really struggling right now with COVID stuff. Kyrie Irving just the other day was like, they said he was going to be back to play away games, and then immediately he got COVID. So
I think the real hardship is probably like having to sign Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
But
that was
sorry.
Anyway, teams are suffering. The Bulls have had a lot of guys out.
Yes.
So all just kind of a shitty situation. There have been some teams that have had it worse than others, obviously, but it's looking like the league might have to do another temporary shutdown if this keeps up.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that there's almost no way. In fact, I would guarantee that they don't do another bubble. I would guarantee
Probably
that.
not.
I would say it is impossible. It's not going to happen. The players hated it too much. It's just not going to happen. What I will say is that I would almost guarantee the NBA gets through the Christmas slate and then almost immediately shuts everything down. Like, I think the Christmas slate, they kind of have to deliver on that because there's already a ton of advertising money.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, like, there's a ton of advertising money on the books for them right now that they've probably already spent, honestly. They need to deliver that. But I would say after that, we could see at least, like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 week shutdown, maybe longer, depending.
Yeah. The NFL's had a pretty bad break, too, but...
Yeah, they have, but they got more players.
Yeah, that's fair.
They got more players, and they had similar outbreaks last year. The NFL also has, like, isolated position groups a lot of the time. So, like, the corners will meet, and the quarterbacks will meet, and the running backs will meet, and they don't have... Like, there is plenty of overlap, but, like, if there's an outbreak, it will typically be isolated to, like, the running back room or the offensive line or, like, the quarterback room or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, I just wanted to start with that because it's kind of, like, the most recent thing, I guess, and pretty significant for the rest of the league. But seeing that we haven't done the podcast in about a month, there's a lot to talk about. So I guess the next thing that we can talk about, since it's kind of important for us as Pacers fans, Sabonis wants out. Saboner is done with Indiana.
Yeah, this hasn't been confirmed by his camp,
that's true.
But I'm never really surprised when I see stuff like this, especially when it relates to the Pacers.
And I can't blame him. He's putting up like 25 and 13 in losses. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's that. Like, I'm sure that he's not super thrilled at the losing, but, like, I would say that it's probably a little bit more to do with the fact that the Pacers are like, no, we're not going to trade anybody, but then there are all these reports that they want to trade everybody, and, like, the front office is already looking to offload people and that they want to trade Sabonis and stuff like that.
I don't think a rebuild would be bad, honestly. Like, we've been stuck in this
No,
little
I
loop
think we
of
need a
mediocrity.
rebuild.
We kind of need it, yeah.
We need a rebuild. The problem is, Herb Simon refuses to rebuild.
Yeah,
Herb Simon said again this week, he was like, he talked about like the other past general managers rebuilding on the fly, and like why we've done it a bunch of times, we can do it again.
He just cares about money. The problem is like he's got to take notice at some point because they have the worst attendance in the league. His pockets are gonna feel it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I just like they never have spectacular attendance.
They've never been this bad. Like they got like
it's never
maybe
been
10,000.
Yeah, it's at a point where like the Pacers are so bad, and there's nothing like. Okay, I know he doesn't want to tank, but you know what would put butts in seats? Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, like one of these dudes, like one of these. I mean, I know you don't watch college basketball, so I've
been watching Purdue games. I know about Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, even Jaden Ivey. Like, Jaden Ivey might be a top 5 pick this year. Can you imagine if the Pacers got Jaden Ivey?
I'd be so happy. Oh, my God.
Jaden Ivey, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, like, all those dudes are going to put butts in seats, especially, like, at a Pacers game. Like, especially if they got, like, Chet Holmgren or Jaden Ivey. Like, Jaden Ivey from Purdue and Chet Holmgren White. Like, that would be crazy for Indiana. Like, to get
Could you imagine if we were able to trade Sabonis for like Wiseman and Moody or something like that, and then we had a
that would be great too.
And we got like Jaden. I'm just gonna say Ivy because he's like one of the only college players I know. I pretty much only know.
Yeah, because we're probably team. Let's say we get like a top 5 pick, but not first. It would probably be like Ivy.
Then we could have, and then like we could probably trade like Turner and Brogdon and Karras, flip them for some picks, and then we can have like Jaden Ivey, Chris Duarte, James Wiseman, Moses Moody, and then like whatever we get with other picks and stuff. Like that could be a pretty fun team.
Yeah,
assuming James Wiseman can play because he hasn't really played much yet, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would like Wiseman. I mean, the problem is, I've seen a couple. I mean, we could maybe bring back the trade corner and talk about some Sabonis trades a little later. The only thing I see with like Wiseman that I don't love, just like the thing with Wiseman is Wiseman basically didn't play college basketball. Like he played high school, he played 2 games in college, and then he got like kind of suspended because of recruiting violations. And then he basically went straight to the NBA. And there are players that have gone straight to the NBA before. There are players that have done similar things, like have a cup of coffee in college and then go to the league. And they've turned out fine. Like Kyrie Irving played, I think, like 11 games at Duke or something, and he's like a Hall of Famer. James Wiseman has played about half a regular NBA season. I think he's played like 50 career games. Because I know he missed some time last year.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of time this year.
And he's missed all the time this year.
Yeah. Has he not played a single game? I thought he played like a few.
He has played... I don't think he's played this year.
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick.
Year. Okay.
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, he's basically played 50 career NBA games. Like,
yeah, he has not
50
played
career NBA games and no college basketball. Like, the learning curve on the NBA is so steep, and he's been with an organization for a minute, so like, you know, maybe it's not that bad. Well, not really a minute, like 13 months, because the draft was late last year. I guess what I'm saying is, like, he's not a finished product by any means.
What?
Like, the Pacers, Wiseman, like, he's not a finished product. If they trade for him, they got to know what they're in for. And that might not be a great player for a couple years.
That's true, yeah.
Or even a good player for a little bit.
See, the problem is that I don't think there's many teams out there that are really rebuilding right now that have, like the Warriors are a rare case because what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot of teams out there that are contending right now that have a lot of young assets to give up. Like,
yes, yeah.
like the Warriors are really that only case because they were so bad last year or 2 years ago. Sorry, but most like the Nets are really old, the Lakers are really old, the Suns are pretty old. The Nuggets, I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is not exactly someone I'd want to trade for. So there's not a whole lot of teams that are contending that could use a piece like Sabonis that are willing to give up young players. And I think most teams that are bad right now that have young players to trade wouldn't really break the bank to get Sabonis. Like, I don't think the Kings would be willing to trade any of their young guards for Sabonis. It's like, I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Right.
The problem with Sabonis, or the problem with the trade market right now, is a lot of teams are like, okay, we've got a bunch of centers. Like, the Suns are maybe a team that I could see trading for Sabonis, but what are they going to give up? Well, probably DeAndre Ayton, because they don't want to pay him, and he's a center.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay him.
Yeah, I know. So it's kind of like, well,
I don't know.
Like, do we want to do this? Like, probably not.
Yeah. It's a tough situation because, again, the trade market's really bad right now. Guys like Karras have been not good, so you can't really throw him in as a valuable trade piece. And it's also another thing. It's going to be kind of hard to trade Sabonis because he's making a very small amount of money. He's on one of the best contracts in the NBA. So,
well, I mean, he's on a $22 million deal. Like, that's not nothing.
I thought it was 18.
I think it's... Is it 8? Is it... What was it? I thought it was 4 years 88. Or 4 years... Maybe it's 4 years 84?
Let me check. Because it might be 4 years 88, but I don't think every year is like the same.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it might not be.
Let's see. Show current contract. Yeah, he's making 18 mil this year. He'll make 20 mil next year, and then 21 mil the year after that. So still very affordable, but he's currently making 18 million.
Yeah. Yeah, 18. I mean, 18 isn't nothing. Like, I bet Wiseman and Kuminga, or Wiseman or Moody and Kuminga, whatever combination of two of those three guys the Pacers would want, probably would equal about that.
Yeah. It's a very tough situation, but it's long overdue. We've needed a rebuild for a few years now.
Yeah, I agree.
But all right, next up, let's see. I guess we can go to some other franchises. The Kings have officially fired Luke Walton. This happened a few weeks ago.
Good.
But yeah, long overdue. They kind of needed it. And have they won games like since then? I guess they're playing the Spurs right now, but I don't really know. I think they still have their interim playing, but they beat the Clippers twice. They've won some games. They beat the Clippers twice. They beat the Magic. They beat the Wizards. And that's just this month. So they've won some games. They've won some games. But now De'Aaron Fox is out, and so they're probably not going to win many more. But
yeah, I think Fox is out, and Halliburton might be out too.
Yeah, but Bagley has been, like, not good, but he's been okay. He's been
he's been playing, which is better than usual.
That's true, yeah. But he's been solid. He's been okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, this is a big one. The Blazers. Their GM was fired. I think you know a little bit more about that, or you read out the thing.
He was fired because the Blazers did an investigation into alleged workplace toxicity because that was supposedly stemming from him. And they fired him on December 3rd.
Yeah,
so I would guess that they probably found that he was guilty of that.
Wait, what, you cut out for me. What'd you say? Oh,
So, sorry, I exited out of the app accidentally. What did you? I might have missed what you said.
You were cutting out for me, so I didn't really hear much of what you said.
Oh, I was just saying that they did the investigation, and I would guess that they probably found him guilty if they fired him.
Yeah, probably. That doesn't help. CJ's out with like a collapsed lung and all that stuff, so they haven't. I think they put Nurkic and Covington on the trade block too, so things going down in Portland. But Dame is still 10 toes down. He's loyal. He's not going anywhere. And he's just that guy. So, Rip City, stand up. You got the most loyal guy in the league.
Yeah, 10 toes on the ground, 10 fingers on the ground too. He's never leaving.
Oh yeah, so, but he does want $50 million. So get on.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Anthony Davis. I've wanted to talk about this. He has been bad. He's been terrible by Anthony Davis standards. He defensively has been like meh, which is bad for his standards. He's averaging like 24 and 10, 50% from the field, 75 from the free throw line, but he's shooting like 15% from three or something like that on 3 or 4 attempts a game. So he just isn't shooting well. Again, defensively, he's just been okay. His refusal to play center has been really kind of, even as a non-Lakers fan, it makes me upset that he's not willing to play center because he could be so much better.
We've all known that guy that's like really good at something and they just don't want to do it, and they're so much worse at something else that they think they're good at.
Yeah.
Like, it's just annoying.
And so, yeah, the Lakers haven't been great. I think they're like, what, the 6th seed right now? I want to say. Like
6, 7-ish, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around
I think they're
there.
the 6th seed. I think they're the 6th seed because we were just looking at it last night, and I think they're the 6th.
We were. So, yeah, they're about, I think they're the 6th seed. You might be right about that. LeBron's been playing really well, but Russell Westbrook's been, like, hit or miss. He's been playing well these past few games. He struggled early on, but, like, Anthony Davis has been not great. Their role players have been okay. I remember it was like ESPN put up that stat that they have like the most walking distance of any team in the league or whatever. Like they just have no hustle, which makes sense because they're all like geriatric. But
yeah, I didn't want to get burned by being like, yeah, the Lakers aren't going to be shit, like, you know, they're going to be whatever. Like, I didn't want to do that this summer because I didn't want them to, like, win the championship and me to be, like, look like a hater.
Yeah.
But, like, oh my God, they look bad, dude. They look so bad. They've got a dude named Austin Reeves. I don't even know who
AR-15, bro? He's a stud.
Out here hitting game winners for them. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
like, and I know every team's got the, like, 2K generated random players right now.
The Lakers just look bad, though. If LeBron's, what, 37? About to be 38, or he's 36, about to be 37, I forget which. But he's playing at an MVP level, but when he's not, the team is embarrassingly bad. Like, they're beating a team like the Pistons or the Kings or the Magic, and it's like LeBron really had to pull that one out of his ass.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, like, Russ has been not the problem, which I think if you asked me before the season, like, if you were like, the Lakers are going to be really struggling about 25 games in, like, what do you think that's due to? I'd be like, well, they're old, and also Russell Westbrook is on the team. And he really has largely not been a problem.
No,
like, he's had his bad nights, but, like, he's
not
been
a perfect
pretty
player,
good.
but he's really only doing what they need him to do. He's not, I think he's, maybe like earlier on in the season he was struggling, but I feel like he's kind of just found his role, and he's not trying to just do way too much all the time. Sometimes he still does, but, you know. But, yeah, they just look outmatched. Like, they lost the Timberwolves by, like, 30. a few days ago, or like 25 or maybe it was 15. I don't know. They lost to the Timberwolves by a lot. Let me see if I can find that score.
I think they lost by like 16 points.
It was 92 to 110. So 18 to the Timberwolves. They're like the 10 seed. They're not good either. But so the Lakers have been struggling. But the Timberwolves, I do want to say they're a really low seed, but they are 14 and 15, and they've been pretty solid. I know you wanted to talk about this too. Like they are not that bad actually.
Yeah, and by the way, that game was without Anthony Edwards, who I kind of think might be their best player.
I agree. We were talking about this yesterday.
100% sure about this, but I kind of think he's a little better than Cat. And Cat's really good, but Ant's on another level right now.
We were talking about this yesterday because I remember doing like our all-star like predictions or who we think's gonna make it. And, like, Cat's the obvious pick because he's kind of the face of the franchise, but, dude, Anthony Edwards has a case for sure. They don't deserve more than one All-Star, but, like, I might consider giving it to Anthony Edwards. Not anymore because he's out, but, like, it's...
Yeah, but he's only going to be out for, like, a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think... He's not going to miss, like, the season or anything, but, like, if they can... Right. The thing with the All-Star break is he's probably going to miss 5, 6, 7 games. I don't know. Has Cat missed any?
He usually misses a couple. I don't know if he's missed any this year though yet.
Yeah, so like they're pretty neck and neck as far as importance on that team goes, and if Cat's played more games and he's already kind of been like the face of that team for the last 5 years, I'd probably just give him the nod. But Anthony Edwards is for real, dude. He's awesome.
Yeah, he rocks. He's great. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. That's another bad loss for the Lakers. Like that's a team they should beat without one of their best players. Like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I talked about them earlier because they don't have enough players for like an active rotation or whatever. They have like 8 or some players that aren't in the COVID safety protocols or whatever, or maybe it's less than that. But they're the 3 seed right now at 19 and 12. They have been really good. They've been beating a lot of good teams, or at least like keeping it competitive if they do lose. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched much Cleveland basketball. Mainly because I didn't notice they were doing this good until like a few days ago. But like they beat the Heat by like 20. They beat the Wizards by 15. They lost to the Jazz by 1. They lost to the Bucks by 8. They beat the Bulls by close to 25. They beat the Timberwolves by 15-ish. They beat the Kings. They've just been winning a lot of their games.
Right. Yeah, the thing with they've got such a crazy... By the way, I think Evan Mobley's the rookie of the year. I would give it to him right now if the season ended today. And Cade Cunningham has been excellent, but I'd give it to Mobley. They've got such a crazy... Like, they're the rare like NBA team that's making the 2 great defensive centers work. Like, that's not really something you see nowadays. And they've got Allen and they got Mobley, and they just, like, wreck shit. Like, they're both so good. Like, it's almost impossible to drive on them right now.
Yeah.
With the way that team looks. Or with the way that paint defense looks.
They played against the Bucks yesterday? Was this yesterday? And, never mind. This is a bad example because Giannis didn't play. So never mind. I was gonna talk about like defensive stats, but that wouldn't apply. But yeah, they've been good. I have to ask, do you think Darius Garland is an all-star?
I think they should have one. I kind of want to give it to Evan Mobley. But I think I would give it to Garland. I think I would give it to Garland because he's like their best scorer, and that's typically what All-Star. That's really what All-Star
Mobley's
bursts
also
are.
out right now, so.
And Mobley is missing some time, so yeah, I would say yes. I would give it to Garland.
Okay, I'm in a similar boat. I don't. I think this is like one of those teams where, as a whole, they're just kind of playing the way they need to. But if I had to give them an all-star, I'd probably give it to Garland. Speaking of which, I know we said we'd go into trade corner a little bit later. Do you want to do that now?
Yes.
Sexton, Colin Sexton. What do you think happens there? Because they've been significantly better without him.
I think they should trade him, but I don't know what you get out of him. Like, I don't know what value he has on the open market because I don't really know what kind of how valuable of a player he is.
I think we've both kind of been on the trade Sexton train for about a year now, maybe a little bit less than a year, but like a season. He's the way I look at him, like obviously he's got this injury right now, so he's gonna have to come back from that. But the way I look at him is like he can be a pretty good sixth man, like spark plug, because he doesn't pass the ball very much. He just kind of looks to score. So having
could, if he was utilized, he could be like a Jamal Crawford or like a Lou or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like coming off the bench where you don't have to worry about distributing the ball to the other like good players. I think he could probably just put up 20 off the bench.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So yeah, the Cavs have been good. What else do we have? Steph Curry broke the 3-point record this season, or like a few nights ago against the Knicks. I know this, so that we're supposed to talk more of. Oh wait, no, trade corner, Sabonis trades. I totally forgot about that. Where you want to see Sabonis?
I don't know. I don't really know where I would want to see him, but I could see a couple teams trading for him. I could see the Warriors doing it. I could see the Suns doing it, I think. But I think the Suns maybe instead of trading Ayton, because I think you're right. Like, I don't know if the Pacers would want Ayton because they already have Turner and like they probably don't want to pay him. I could see them maybe going with Mikal Bridges instead to maybe get more wing depth, and he's really good and he could help the defense out.
I know it may sound crazy, but I don't think the Suns would be willing to do that.
No, I don't think that sounds crazy at all. He's a great defensive piece.
Because I just feel like the Suns might be under like the if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality, since they're like the 2 seed right now.
Yeah. The only thing with that is like some teams are looking to always get better, so maybe if they value that type of scoring from Sabonis and that type of offensive and defensive rebounding a little more, I could see them maybe doing that. But I think, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it is usually how a lot of these teams operate.
Do you think the Knicks would be willing to make a move? Because they've been struggling pretty hard.
Yeah, they've been really bad. The problem with the Knicks is that they don't have like a guy to take the shot. Like I remember talking about that with the Sixers. Like when they gave up Jimmy and then they kind of like didn't have a guy who can just like get you a bucket. Like Julius Randle, he did have a game winner the other night and he's kind of like that. But like they don't really have a consistent enough offensive piece.
Yeah, he hasn't been great this year.
He's all right, but like they don't have like the Knicks are like a grind it out, like we're gonna beat you 85-79 and we want to do it just like that and we're gonna put you in the torture chamber. But like that doesn't win games in the modern NBA, or that doesn't win championships in the modern NBA, let alone regular season games. Like they're 12-16, 12-17, like whatever they are right now, they're bad. Like they gotta shake something up, and I think getting a Sabonis type player who can just score, really, because he's not a great defender, so maybe they wouldn't love him, but like
Oops.
He's such a good scorer, and he could add to that offense enough where I think that that would work for them.
Who do you think the Knicks would have to give up? Because I don't think the Pacers would want Randall.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that I would want on the Knicks because, again, like, they're a team made up of, like, really gritty defensive identity, and that's, like, not really what the Pacers, like, they could use, like, one of those guys, but, like, I feel like the Knicks are, like, better as a team. Like, they don't have an individual asset that I would particularly want. I think if they gave, like, a first-round pick and, like, a second-round pick, I'd take it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a first-round pick and, like, quickly or something. Maybe that's it.
I think I would like quickly on the team, just as kind of like a little bit of energy, if anything. Because the way I look at the Pacers right now is, like, they're not a very good team, but they're also very boring to watch. Like, if they were not a very good team, but at least semi-entertaining, I might tune into more games. But, like
the Timberwolves.
Yeah, but they're just not... Yeah, if we had a guy dunking on people like Anthony Edwards is, I'd love to watch them. But we just don't. Like, we're just such a boring team. And I guess that's on us for not having, like... Yeah, because we just don't have the personnel. I guess Karis LeVert was supposed to be a little more entertaining, but he hasn't been great. And then playing an offense through two big men is usually never very entertaining.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, if we could get, like... Quickly and like Obi Toppin, maybe I wouldn't hate that.
I'd rather get I'd like a pick. I think I want to get a pick out of Sabonis. I don't want a bunch of players.
That's fair, because I guess the pick is probably more valuable since the Knicks are gonna suck most likely.
Yeah.
Do you think? Well, that's a dumb question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you think the Knicks are gonna trade RJ this season?
I mean, I'd trade RJ. I kind of forgot about RJ. He's supposed to be that kind of like bucket getter type of player, but he's still kind of figuring that out a little bit. I mean, I'd throw in another player if the Knicks wanted to give up RJ. I don't think they would want to do that, but
I don't either. But he hasn't been like the things. I don't know how the Knicks are looking right now because last year they made the playoffs. But I feel like them making the playoffs has kind of made people forget that they've been a garbage organization and still are a garbage organization.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, they have really like done nothing right. They made here's what the Knicks did. The Knicks took advantage of a shortened season. They got the most out of a weak roster with solid coaching, but I still think Tibbs is a bad coach. Like, I still think he's a bad coach. I don't care how many playoffs he makes with the Knicks. Like, I really don't. I don't care if he wins a championship, and he won't because he's the head coach of the New York Knicks. Tom Thibodeau has ran so many players into the ground. He was terrible in Minnesota. He is like his teams play like a gritty, boring brand of basketball, which works kind of, but if you know how to beat it, you know how to beat it. Like, there's a cap on how well that brand of basketball can work, and I think we've about seen it with the Knicks.
Yeah, that brand of, like, the problem is I don't think you can play your starters for 40 minutes a game for multiple seasons and expect it to work. But the only reason they were good last year is because they only really played their starters, because they don't have much bench depth.
Well, like, the thing with Tibbs is, like, that it does work if your two best players are prime Derrick Rose, who's an elite offensive player and a decent defender, and then Joakim Noah, who's an elite post defender and decent on offense. It can work. Like, if you have an MVP level offensive player, it can work.
And that's MVP really hard level to get. Defensive player. Don't forget Joakim Noah was top 5 at MVP voting one year.
Yeah, exactly. He was the best center in the league for a minute. but you have to have such, and then everybody else on the team has to buy into that exact way of playing basketball. And it's just like it's exhausting. Like, the Knicks play exhausting games.
Yeah. Yeah, the Knicks, I feel bad. I feel bad. You're like kicking a man when he's down, you know? But they suck.
Knicks fans were annoying. They made the playoffs once and got annoying.
Yeah, but, dude, I'm remembering the whole Trae Young at the Garden thing. That was awesome, dude. Feels like so sick. Long ago, but it was awesome. Anyway, yeah. I guess that was a little side tangent on the Knicks, but
I don't know. They're just like they're I guess okay. It's just like there's a cap on how good this team can be. There's a cap how good this team can be with this roster as constructed, and I think we're seeing it right now.
Now, another one I thought of, the Celtics are 500. They are the 8th seed right now. They're underperforming even by my expectations, because I thought they'd be like... Actually, no, I thought they'd be a play-in tournament team. So they're pretty on brand with what I thought, but not on brand with what most other people thought. What do you think's wrong with them?
I think that they, again, have a poorly constructed roster, and they were not great last year, and they downgraded at coach. Like, I think Ime Udoka's a decent coach. I think he could be a good coach or a great coach. But Brad Stevens is also a really good coach, and losing, like, going from that to, like, a rookie head coach is just not it, really, and it doesn't work a lot. And they don't have a point guard or a center. Like, they have
Dennis Schroeder and Al Horford. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. If this was 2016, that would be awesome, but it's not. Yeah. And Tatum needs to be perfect. Like, and he's not. Like, Brown needs to be perfect, and hasn't played a ton this year, has he? I know he's missed at least a little bit of time.
Yeah, he's missed a few games. I can pull up exactly how many he's played. Oh shit, I misspelled his name. Jaylen Brown has played 16 games this season. So about half of their games. But yeah, I agree. This roster is just not constructed very well. But, and I really hope they don't turn it around, because Celtics fans are insufferable. But,
yes.
Really, Boston fans, like, that upper northeast section of sports
Boston,
fans.
New York.
Yeah, like, we saw yesterday, we were at the Colts-Patriots game. Those Patriots fans were so annoying. So, yeah, that whole northeast quadrant of the United States has a lot of annoying people. The Sixers are another team I wanted to talk about. They're 500 right now and have made almost no progress on Ben Simmons trade talks. So I just wanted to, I don't know if you haven't, like, I haven't personally watched a single Sixers game this year, so I don't know if you have or if you had any thoughts about them.
The Sixers, I don't know, they're weird. The Sixers, here's the problem with them is Ben Simmons, losing Ben Simmons makes them worse. It does. It makes their defense worse, and like it or not, it makes their offense a little worse because he's a good passer and he doesn't space the floor well. But he can drive and kick. Like he does draw some defensive attention, or enough to get some of his teammates open. Like when he drives more specifically. And that makes them worse. Like, not having that makes them worse. And I think that's the easiest thing. And I think that's like the easiest answer as to why they're not really it this year.
Yeah. That's fair. Again, I haven't really watched any of their games, so I don't feel safe commenting about them, because I'm essentially just going to be talking out of my ass. But like, they do need to change something, because right now They are the 9 seed, tied for 8. So.
Yes.
All right. So now we can move on to Steph Curry breaking the 3-point record. It's taking it from Ray Allen. I forgot his full name. I was gonna say it, but I forgot. So, but yeah, he took it from Ray Allen. Obviously a very, very insane moment. I don't even think there's anyone out there that can say he's not the best shooter ever. Like,
yes,
I know a few years ago people might have been saying that, but you really can't anymore. But Aiden, you had a very good idea that I thought it'd be good to talk about. Who do you think is the next guy to break this record? Because it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when.
Well, yeah. So I want to do it by who's gonna break the Ray Allen part of the record, because Curry could realistically play for like 10 more years, get to like he could, if he got to like 4,500 or even like 5,000, I don't know if I'd be shocked. But there are a bunch of guys coming up.
5,000?
Maybe not 5,000. Like 4,500, I think. I think he could hit. I think 4,000 to 4,500 is about what he could hit.
What's he at right now? 20. What's the?
He's at just over 3,000, I think.
Okay.
He's at 2982.
20. So he's gonna hit 1,000 or 3,000 in like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him getting up to 4K.
I don't like. He's had a couple years where he hits. That's what I think about is he's had multiple seasons where he's hit 400. Like you only need to do that. Like if he does it, like he's gonna do it this year, he'll probably hit about 300 more this year. If he does like 300, 400 twice after that, that puts him at 4,000. And then if he just coasts for the rest of his career, he could get to 4,500 plus.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't think about the scope of how many threes Steph Curry hits in a season.
And that's not even thinking about like, and that's saying that like he only has 2 more great years after this. Oh, he definitely could if he wants to.
So,
well, the obvious answer is James Harden and Dame. James Harden has 2,500 right now. Dame has 2,125.
Yeah, so James Harden's the closest.
Yes.
And then is Dame second?
Yes. Do you want to do like maybe under 30 players who could break it?
That's fine, yeah.
Like players who are coming up right now?
If we're doing that, then I think the obvious answer is Trae Young.
It is Trae Young. Yes. He's on a crazy pace right now.
Yeah. It's not like he's a good shooter, a little inefficient, but a really good shooter. It's just the fact that he is not he's not afraid to take 23s. If he had the chance and the time on the clock to take 23s, I think he would do it.
Yes, I think he would as well.
So I think just off of sheer volume alone, he will definitely come the closest. He's got the confidence for it.
Yeah. He probably won't do it at like, what is Steph Curry? Like a 41% career shooter, 3-point shooter. Like he probably won't do it at that clip. But I think he will do it.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing about this is one of those records that like not no one, because LeBron might do it, but like passing Kareem's all-time scoring record is going to be really hard, because no matter how much the pace changes, you know, there's not going to be a bunch of teams dropping 250 points per game and players averaging 60. Or like John Stockton's assist record. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. But like with the 3-point record, you have like the volume has only been going up, and it's been going up pretty exponentially. So I feel like it's one of those records that is it's one of those ones that can potentially keep going up. Well, obviously you have to see what Steph Curry does, but like I could see potentially like Reggie Miller might not be in the top 5 by the time we're
20 years.
Yeah, like by the time we're at the age of like, oh, you know, back in my day, this guy was really good. You guys don't know anything about that. Like when we're saying that to like people, Reggie Miller's probably not going to be a top 5 on that list.
Yes, I would say so too.
Which is sad for Indiana fans because he's really all we got. So that's kind of depressing. But do you think? Actually, I do want to ask you this because I saw it on the internet. Who do you think is the number 2 behind Steph Curry right now for like best shooters ever? You think it's Ray Allen or Klay Thompson?
I think it's Ray Allen. Oh, it's Ray Allen, and then it's Reggie Miller, and then it's Klay Thompson.
You think Klay Thompson's the 4th best shooter ever?
Yeah, because the thing with Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson's the best spot-up shooter ever, but like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Steph Curry all have the off-ball movement. Like they know how to get open well, and they can do it off the dribble. Like Klay Thompson just doesn't have that. Klay Thompson's got the off-ball movement, but he doesn't have the off-the-dribble.
That's fair. Every time I think of Reggie Miller, I think of that play where he obviously pushed off Michael Jordan.
Yes, it's hilarious. And then he like celebrated like he won the championship. It's so funny.
That play's sick. But so yeah, Steph Curry breaks the record. Do you think Seth Curry's coming for the crown?
I don't think so. I would say no.
You don't think so?
No, because he might finish his record. He'll finish as like the most efficient volume shooter because I think he's like a career 43 or 44% guy, which is like 2% more than Curry, I think. But he's not gonna get that volume because I don't think he really got started. Like he didn't really get started in the NBA until he was like 24, 25, 26, right? Like he was a little later.
He was
I think he spent some time in the G League.
So yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a career 44% from 3. This is his lowest, like his worst statistical shooting season at 39%. So.
Yes.
That's kind of actually pretty crazy. I didn't know. Like I was obviously joking when I said that. I didn't know he was this efficient though. Damn. All right. You got anything else to add on the whole Curry thing? Oh.
No.
Right. Next up, we only got a few more things. This is more injury stuff, actually. Unfortunately, we gotta cover this. Ja Morant's out for a while. He has like an MCL sprain in his leg or something. It finally happened. He finally got a leg injury that we were all worried about, but luckily, I don't think
he's got some before.
Yeah, but like this one's pretty serious, actually. Like every time we see Ja Morant go up for a dunk and land, it's always scary. And he finally hurt his leg. Granted, it wasn't on a dunk, but I hope injuries aren't like a consistent theme for him. And then, although I do want to say the Grizzlies have been pretty good without him. They've been winning some games. So that's impressive. Michael Porter Jr.'s out for the season, and then Zion, that's the big one. Zion's had another like month setback on his injuries. He took like an injection in his foot to speed up the healing process, but things have been going bad for Zion.
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know if he's ever going to play basketball again. It feels like it right now.
I think
like it feels like every time he's about to come back, there's some sort of random little thing setback that's like 6 weeks. Like it's just.
Do you think he just wants out of New Orleans? Like I'm not saying he's.
I don't know.
His
like
injury,
he shouldn't.
But I don't think
20. It's his 3rd season. Like you're not even gonna give him a chance, like a little bit. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like the Lonzo stuff. Like I get the Lonzo stuff. Like he was his boy. They let him go, and they didn't really get anything for him. But like, that's it. Like that's all. That's all. Like I just don't. I don't know.
Because I know there was reports of like his camp was unhappy, and then he was like sleeping through film sessions, and he was like falling asleep during games and everything. So like I don't know.
Yeah.
I would be worried if I was the Pelicans though, because he doesn't seem like he really cares about them at all.
Yeah. I would too.
And then the last thing up, I wanted to talk about this because it happened very recently, and it's awesome. Isaiah Thomas, Short King, is back in the NBA. And in his most recent game, he dropped 19 against the Timberwolves. He is back.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade because I, too, enjoy Isaiah Thomas. He's good representation for my kind in the league, as a short gentleman myself. That being said, the reason that I think Isaiah Thomas has been out of basketball is he does one thing really well, and the one thing he does really well is something that everybody in the NBA basically does really well. Like, he's a really good scorer. Like, he's a good scorer.
Yeah.
The thing is, everybody in the NBA is a good scorer because you have to be a good scorer to get into the NBA. Like, unless your name is, like, Rudy Gobert.
Or Matisse Thybulle.
Or, like, yeah, like, unless you have another niche, like, you're probably a good scorer, right? Like, even the worst guys. Like, okay, Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday is like, he was like the Pacers' 9th, 10th man last year. He's a pretty decent scorer, right?
Yeah,
like, he's
10.
a guy that can go out there and get you 10, 12 points any given night.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas does basically the same thing, right? Except he's 5'9". So he is he's a huge negative on the defensive end.
Yeah,
like,
but
he is always going to get targeted. I know, and I'm glad that he's doing this. But I would imagine that once the COVID stuff starts to settle down, which maybe it won't, he might. I would guess that he probably does not have a permanent spot on the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's got to enjoy it while it lasts, I guess.
Yes.
But every single person in the world, maybe not everyone, but most people are rooting for Isaiah Thomas, and I want to see him be good again.
I don't know how you couldn't. He's like a super nice guy. He got completely screwed over by Boston.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a realist with this stuff. Like, I know what's going to happen, but, like, I'm still rooting for him.
Yeah, everyone knows what's going to happen. He's going to get cut in like 3 weeks, but he's got to pretend it won't happen. And hope that the Lakers have a heart and keep him on the team and give him starting minutes, and then he becomes an all-star. And next thing you know, he's winning MVP and getting that max he deserved.
Hey, we can dream. Back up the Brinks truck.
Yes, back up the Brinks truck. As a man of the same height as Isaiah Thomas, I feel like I relate to him, So.
Yes, I do too.
So I'm rooting for you. Anyway, I think that's about all we got. Unless you got anything else to add. There wasn't a whole lot going on aside from COVID stuff this past month.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you got anything else to add we can talk about.
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, that's good. So we're on break now, so hopefully we can upload a little more consistently. We'll probably get some like trivia or games or something going on to fill the empty space.
When the league shuts down.
Yeah, when the league inevitably shuts down in like a week or two, we'll come up with some games and trivia and stuff to make the podcast.
We'll bring back the Hall of Fame calculator game.
Oh, that game's a classic.
That game is a classic.
So yeah, look out for that stuff. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We got some links in the description. I'm pretty sure I got Aiden's TikTok down there. That's been popping off. So, you don't want to get on the bandwagon when it's too late. He's already a millionaire fighting against Stephen A. Smith on the chair. So, get in there while you can. He doesn't recognize me as a friend anymore, more of just a fan, but maybe he'll think of you differently. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Bye.